Hello guys, and welcome back into today's video. This has to be the most important video that I've posted this whole year. So July 1st, we just kind of started, into the month, but we have a lot of catalysts that I want to talk about. And this is the month that we should know if we are in a recession or not. So I have a lot to go over. Okay, I'll be talking about July 4th, Independence Day, why this is going to be very, very important. July 13th, we have inflation data. July 27th, we have interest rate decision. And what does it mean to be in a recession? And when do we know if we are in a recession? What phase are we in right now? How much lower can the equity market drop? How much lower can crypto drop? And overall, the outro. Now, I have this video in timestamps and chapters so you guys can skip through. But overall, I want to go over and I'll be going in very, very in depth and going and taking a look at data. But overall, this is everything that you guys will kind of learn in this video. And make sure to watch the full video because this is a very, very informative video. Now, overall, let's get started with July 4th, and we have Independence Day. Now, basically, this is, one of the days where Americans spend a lot of money. So once, they get gasoline, they get their groceries, they're going to see the spending bill. And that should kind of realize into people, the concern of inflation, the concern of these gas prices, and kind of cause a lot more panic than before because it's kind of getting us into a realization of what is actually happening. Americans spend a lot of money on July 4th, so that is what I'm looking at for July 4th. Now next we have the inflation data, which is on July 13th. So you guys can see I have this calendar pulled up, and on July 13th we have the inflation data. The expected number is 8.3%, where we're kind of expecting that inflation will head lower. But overall, we could see that July 13th is when that data will come in, and anything above 8.3% is going to be horrible. Now again, I always say this on July 13th during pre-market or market open, go to cnbc.com. Okay, the inflation is going to be released right around market open, so it's going to be priced in pre-market. So that is it with inflation. This is going to be very, very important. Now on July 27th, we have the interest rate decision. Now again, the whole recession concern is about the inflation, and the way the government controls inflation is by raising interest rates. So on July 27th, we have FOMC statement, we have the Fed interest rate decision, and we have FOMC press conference. That is going to be one of the most important days, okay, July 27th, because again, if we see rising interest rates, that's going to, indicate on if we need to lower or, increase because we need to fix inflation. But overall, July 27th, is going to be very, very important. Again, if we do see rising inflation on Wednesday, July 13th, expect higher interest rates. And that is how the government controls inflation, because if interest rate is higher, it is a lot more expensive and harder to borrow money. And that kind of puts the spending down and less people borrowing, and it kind of slows down borrowing, which is good because it creates less demand and more supply. But overall, that's just kind of like a basic info. July 27th. Now overall, what does it mean to be in a recession? So let's go over to my other chart over here. What does it mean to be in a recession? So what we take a look at is the GDP. So GDP kind of tracks the growth of the economy, and overall, if we have two negative quarters back to back, that declares that we are in a recession and we are in a slowing economy or a decreasing economy. So I have this chart over here. We had the 2009, and then we had the COVID recession, but technically we are in a recession. So we could see that we have two negative GDPs back to back, and what happens is they take in a lot of data. So the government takes in a lot of data and a lot of information. They don't just take a look at the first estimate, because what happens is they take in a lot more estimates. So that is where July 28th comes in. This is the day when it is going to be officially announced if we are in a recession or not. So July 28th, right around market open, is we're going to get a advanced estimate for the second quarter of 2020 for the GDP. And if this comes out negative, we are officially in a recession. Every media, everyone is going to talk about this, that we are officially in a recession. So July 28th is going to be very, very important. Again, the government takes in a lot of data and a lot of information, because you can't just rely on one data or one chart or one model that kind of says that we are in a recession. We need to take in a lot of data so we can have, kind of like a right projection for the economy. So, when do we know if we're in a recession? Again, July 28th, kind of said that already. But what phase are we in right now? So, this is kind of like a very nice chart, of the cycles. And I would say that we are in a capitulation phase, where you're seeing that a lot of companies are starting to lay off, like Coinbase and Tesla, laying off 10% of its employees. And we also are seeing, a lot of bankrupts. I know this one EV company that got bankrupt. Three Arrows, just got bankrupt, a crypto company, I believe. And then, other than that, we have a lot of other problems like Celsius and a lot of, other small problems and a lot of bankrupts. So that is the phase that I think we are in right now. And next thing that I want to go over is how much lower can the equity market drop. So overall, I'm taking a look at the SPY, and basically, during a recession, an average drop is around 34%. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on TradingView. If you guys do want pro version, make sure to use my link in the description. And I'm going to kind of pull down right over here. So that means, a 34% drop or even 30% is going to be, below the kind of like the previous high, so before COVID level. So we're talking about, wiping out kind of like all the gains of the COVID run. So overall, our price target would be around 338 for the bottom. So we're talking about the 2020 high. So overall, that is very, very concerning. Right around over here is going to be our price target, the previous high of the bull market, so 338. Now, when is going to be kind of like the bottom for the crypto market? So to find that, first we have to kind of take a look at the equity market, and once the equity market, starts finding the bottom right around over here, we can expect, kind of like Bitcoin and Ethereum to find the bottom. But overall, historically, Bitcoin always drops 80% from the all-time highs. So even the previous bull run, you guys can kind of see. And again, 80% is the usual drop for Bitcoin. And with Ethereum, it's 90%. So you guys can kind of do the math and pull up, on the TradingView. So that is when we can actually find the bottom. Again, this is all historical data, 30% average drop in a recession, same with Bitcoin and same with Ethereum. So overall, that is it with kind of like finding the bottom, and kind of like that's pretty much it. Other than that, please, not financial advice, and do your own research. And something to keep in mind that this time it is a little bit different, because, the previous recessions, we're talking about the COVID recession, we're talking about the 2008, kind of like the government, the Federal Reserve bailed us out with printing a ton of money. But this case is very, very different, because you can't save this recession by printing a lot more money, because that's kind of like the problem. But overall, it's again, no one knows anything. I don't know anything. And overall, again, do your own research. I'm just some random guy on the internet. So overall, if you guys enjoyed content like this, make sure to subscribe with notifications on. Make sure to leave a like, and let me know kind of like your comments in the description. Bye bye.